Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to The Urban Hiker, the show where we get you out of that apartment and on the trail. And today, I think it's about time we talk about gear. And like always, the first step is out your front door. So let's get going. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're back in Center City, Philadelphia, and the holidays are over. It's a new year. I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. I did. My beautiful wife gave me this fancy new hat. I look very dapper, I would say. Dapper, I think is a good word. But today, we are going to catch back up and talk about what I promised, and that is gear. Your first set of gear for your beginning in hiking. I just want to start off by saying that most people, when getting into hiking, let's turn this way. Most people, when getting into hiking, you already have enough, clothing and gear to get out and start. And it's not until you get a little bit more in depth in hiking and start hiking more difficult trails and stuff, do you really need to buy gear? So to start out with, for the most part, you're going to have everything that you need. Starting at the bottom and working up, shoes. All you need is a pair of, running shoes or just sneakers. They don't have to be boots to start with. Anything that you're able to comfortably walk for a distance, that's all you really need to get started. As far as pants go, there's so many different very expensive hiking pants that are, lightweight and, water resistant and breathable. I'm wearing jeans because all we're really doing is walking. Weather has a lot to do with it. Depending on the temperature and depending on the weather, you're going to want to wear the appropriate clothing. But just when you're getting started, it doesn't really matter. You'll hear people say, cotton, stay away from cotton. And yes, you do want to if you have a possibility of getting wet or something like that. But at the very beginning, when you're just getting started, you don't need to go out and spend a lot of money on hiking pants when you can really use just a pair of jeans. It's always loud. Why is it always loud? Everywhere I go. Next, we'll talk about your jacket. I think a lot of people struggle to find the perfect jacket. One that's not too hot, not too cold, breathable, water resistant. But I think the key is really in layering, because if you layer your clothing, it gives you the option to have something for warmer temperatures and something for colder temperatures. You don't have to worry about finding that perfect jacket. You see a bunch of convertible jackets, which is basically just layers. So, grab yourself 3 or 4 layers, and then depending on whether it warms up, you take stuff off, and if it cools down, you put things back on. Now, let's talk gloves. I don't really think you need anything special for gloves. I mean, on the AT, Sharon and I just used dollar gloves from Dollar General for the most part. When you're hiking, you get warmer and you end up having to take them on and off a lot. So I guess for me, it'd be something easy to put on and take off so that you can adjust as needed. Moving on up, hats. Hats are actually a really great piece of gear for controlling temperature. I always like to wear or have a hat that's warm, stocking cap, anything, something that covers your ears. Because at any point in time, if you're cold, you can put it on, even if it's just for a while. You'll notice it heats you back up. And if you get warm, even without having to strip other layers, you can just pop off your hat. All right, there you have that. For the most part, that covers clothing, covers that side of gear. And like I said at the beginning, it's very easy to get caught up in purchasing gear. And I'm not saying the gear I'm recommending now is good for the, you know, the average hiker. This is just for the beginner. There's a lot of other gear out there and a lot of other things to consider, from you know, base layers to, you know, what socks, and you know, it can be so involved. I'm just saying at the beginning, you don't really have to worry about that to get yourself started. Moving right along, next we should talk about your pack. Packs are a very simple thing. I think a lot of people overcomplicate their idea of what they need for a pack by buying the pack based on the features that the pack has, instead of buying your pack depending on what you're going to put in it. You know, first you need to know what you're taking before you decide what you're going to carry it in, because what people tend to do is they buy packs that are much bigger than what they actually need, and then they try to fill them and are carrying a lot of stuff that they don't actually need. Your pack can be as simple as a book bag. You know, whatever you would use in college or in high school, whatever you used to carry things in. You could even use a fanny pack, or just like a messenger bag or something like that. It doesn't have to be what you would see and consider to be, you know, your hiking pack with the waist belt and, you know, the framework and all of that. It's not needed when you get started. For the most part, you're not carrying enough weight to need that extra support in the bag, and you're not carrying enough things. You don't need to carry so much things. You're just getting started doing day hikes. For the most part, you don't even need a bag. You can probably carry everything in your hands. One thing that you will want to carry is a small emergency kit. Nothing fancy. You don't have to carry something for every possible scenario. You don't need an extra pair of pants. You don't need all of this extra stuff because, well, you just don't need it. I would carry, you know, some bandages, maybe that bee sting or sting spray if you really want to. I mean, you could suffer through a lot of that, but it's not bad to have. Bug spray is not bad to have. And then a flashlight of some kind. You never know if you plan on a day hike, but you end up, you know, losing your way. You're going to want to have something. So, and I don't say you have to go out and get a headlamp and spend money. Everybody's got a flashlight, or even the flashlight on your phone. Which leads me right to your number one emergency piece of equipment is a phone. For the most part, everybody has a smartphone, and it is a great way to stay safe. Like I've said in some of my other videos, let someone know where you're going, how long you'll be, and when you'll be back is step one in safety. And then carrying a phone with you, because for the most part, you're not going to carry something that is going to get you out of every possible situation except for your phone. Here's another little piece of gear that I always encourage new hikers to learn about, and that is toilet paper and a poop shovel. Something where you can practice your leave no trace. Now, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about leave no trace in this video. I'm actually going to do a video about it, but that's something to get yourself more familiar with, because I believe that everybody should do their best to leave no trace. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is my very beginner, very basic guide to gear to get started with. I hope this video has been helpful, and like always, the first step on every hike is out your front door. Bye-bye.